Hi, my name is Alara, and this is the true story of how a single act of kindness changed my life forever. I didn't have an easy beginning, but I promise, this story will show you that even in the darkest times, light can still find you. I grew up in a small village, surrounded by tall mountains. People often said I was a beautiful girl, but what they didn't see was how hard my life really was. My mother died when I was still little, and after that, everything changed. I lived with my father, my stepmother, and her 2 daughters. My stepmother never liked me. She made me do all the hardest chores in the house and shouted at me for things I didn't even do. But I never complained. I just tried my best every day, hoping things would get better. Then something terrible happened. One morning, I followed my father to collect the fresh morning palm wine. While he climbed a tall tree, I sat below, eating some wild berries I had picked. I remember how sweet they tasted, but that moment didn't last. Suddenly, I heard a loud snap. I looked up and saw my father falling from the tree. I screamed and ran to him. I shook him and called his name again and again. But he didn't move. That was the day I lost him. My heart broke into pieces. After his burial, life became even harder. My stepmother became crueler than ever. Every morning, while her daughters got dressed for school, I had to follow her to the farm and market. I carried heavy loads, cleaned the farm, and tended to the animals. I once begged her to let me return to school, but she gave me a cold stare. "You want school," she snapped. "Earn your keep first." So I worked day and night. I was always tired, always hungry. If I didn't do everything perfectly, she'd give me less food. I became so thin and weak that even walking felt like a struggle. One Sunday, something terrible happened again. My stepsister broke a water pot while fetching water. She was afraid of her mother's anger, so she pointed at me and lied. Alara did it. She threw it because she was angry at me. Of course, my stepmother believed her. She yelled at me, "You will go to the stream and fetch water. Fill every pot in this house, and no food for you until then." My heart sank. Everyone in the village knew it was forbidden to fetch water from the stream on a Sunday. The elders believed the water spirits cursed anyone who did. But I had no choice. With shaky hands, I picked up a pot and began the long walk through the forest. My feet sank into the soft earth. The birds were singing, but I could barely hear them. My mind was full of fear. I finally reached the stream, filled my pot, and turned to leave when I heard a weak voice. "My daughter, please, I'm very thirsty. Can you spare me some water?" I turned and saw an old woman sitting beside a small hut. She looked tired and frail. Without thinking, I filled a cup and gave it to her. Then I helped her fill her own pots before I continued home. She smiled kindly and said, "Thank you. Child, go into my hut. You will see 2 baskets. Pick one, but don't open it until you're home." I went into the hut and saw 2 baskets, one big and one small. I chose the small one and hurried home, wondering what was inside. And as I carried that basket through the quiet forest, my heart beat faster with every step. What was inside? What do you think I found? Follow for part 2.